Let's see. Today we're running Lullaby, Lo-Fi, Radio Beats 24/7, music to sleep, relax, and study to. Welcome back to Build Theory. I'm Aurian Archive, and today's a request of sorts for a Corruptor Fire Poison. Well, I don't have any poison builds for a Corruptor, but I do have a Poison Sonic Defender. So that's where I'm going to be starting at. We're going to take my Poison Sonic Defender, convert it to Poison Fire, and that hopefully will give me an outline of a build that I can then use to convert to a Corruptor. Alright, so we just did a drop down. We're now on Poison and Fire Blast, and we lost one slotting. We lost Blaze. Alright, now the things that we kept Flares, Fire Blast, Fire Breath. Let's see, okay, we got Flares, Fire Blast, Fireball, Rain of Fire, Aim, Blaze, Inferno. Now, I kind of already know that I want Blazing Bolt because that is the snipe. I'm also pretty sure that I can drop Fire Blast because it's going to be irrelevant. I'm also pretty sure that I'm not going to need Fire Breath. So, let's see. Looking over in Shockwave, we had a kinetic crash. I think this was actually supposed to be a knockback mitigation in Shockwave. And while I'm thinking about it, we'll go ahead and fix that. So, file save. We'll just go ahead and save over. Okay, so bringing it back. And we also dropped a Superior Frozen Blast. So what were our totals? Okay, this is with everything turned on, it seems. With Agility active, we are soft capped to Smashing Lethal, Energy, Fire, Cold, not quite soft capped to AoE. And we have a substantial amount of soft cap in Smashing Lethal and Energy. Okay. And let's just make sure we don't have anything else affecting that. There are no other powers. Okay. Now, obviously, there are some things that I would change here now that I have access to Ice Mistral's Torment. So we may wind up backporting a little bit here. Just for reference, I skipped Shout. Not sure why I skipped Shout. What's our Scream is base 47, Shout is base 76. Okay, we're going to very quickly fix the... Why in the world do I have Spring Attack? Correction! First thing we will do is figure out what is going on. Why do I have... Alright. Correction, we're starting with the Poison. This is my most recent... Yeah, this was my most recent Poison. Poison Sonic R5M Soft Cap Level Revision. Alright, for some reason I have Spring Attack. Actually, I'm pretty sure I know why I have Spring Attack. And that was to get these. So what was on Scream? Scream had a Winter's Bite. So we're going to drop Scream. We're going to move Shockwave. Actually, we're going to move Elixir of Life down. We're going to move Shockwave down to 10. We've already got that mitigated knockback to knockdown. We're going to Siren Song. At 22, we can take Shout. So we'll take Shout and we'll put in that Winter's Bite. And then we're going to do slots enhancement, slots auto arrange all slots. Alright, now I'm guessing I took Siren Song specifically for Frozen Blast, because it's otherwise a pretty useless power. And I'm pretty sure I took Spring Attack for the recharge component. Now, I took Scorpion Shield for the defenses, so we can't use that. I do now have access to some other powers, though. And we went with Super Jump, but we have a free speed down here. So we're going to look at Force of Will. And we got Mighty Leap, Unleash Potential, and we can Resolve. Now, I've kind of would almost rather do Experimentation, because then I can do Corrosive Vial. Corrosive Vial will give me a place to put this Frozen Blast. So that's what we're going to actually convert to. We're going to go from Jump to Speed of Sound. And that'll allow me to do... let's see if we got anything else we can move around here. We got Combat Jumping early on. We got Neurotoxic Breath early on. We're going to go ahead and drop Siren Song. We're going to pick up Experimental... Well, I want to pick up Experimental Injection. And then we'll pick up Corrosive Vial. Now, Corrosive Vial will let me go ahead and slot back in Frozen Blast. And then Experimental Injection gives me a heal set. So we're losing a strong recharge. We're going to go ahead and tentatively take 2 slots. And we're going to run them into... well, Ice Mistral's Torment, because we're going to go right for that recharge. And let's see, what else can we do? Experimental Injection with 4 slots. Can we pick up? Okay, we got Paralytic Poison, which was a... I've got a lockdown in it for a hold. I could take 2 slots from here and bring this up to a Basilisk Gaze. Take 1 slot from here. Alright, we can pick up some knockback protection because we're now on the ground all the time. We can pick up, since I don't have Panacea now, no, wait, not Panacea. We're just going to proc meal this with Preventative Medicine. We're going to change this to keep me Basilisk Gaze. And that'll bring us up some recharge. That'll give us some, if we can spare a slot, that'll give us some more. Alright, we got our maximum HP there. We're using this for ranged damage. I don't think we have any new options there. No, we don't. Okay. Now, what does this actually look at like? Oh, we're still doing good on smashing lethal energy. Fire cold, we're doing good on. Compared to the other build, we're even closer to negative energy soft cap. And we've also bumped up our range. In fact, we've bumped up our range enough that with Venomous Gas, which is a 2-hit debuff, we should be into range and AoE. So we should be able, with this build, toss Venomous Gas on a target and just circle around it at range. That's actually looking kind of good. Maneuvers. Do we have anything to recover? What's our recovery look like? Stamina. Okay, we did chance for end. This is another one we're going to change. We're going to change it to the end mod increased run speed. And end mod. And that also boosts our movement speed. We're running agility. Anything... 6 slot blistering cold on. Now we need that for the... You don't need it now for the fire cold or for the smashing lethal. So we could actually drop the slots here. And we'll quickly change that from boxing to kick. And we'll fill this out with our normal chance for recharge, then click it off. This will let us bring this over here and fill this out. So now our neurotoxic breath. Okay, wait a second. If I kind of want this to be an SLCR, then I want all of these. That's being used for a. Alright, attuned. These are all +5. What else? These can all be +5 because they're mid-range. That's not giving me a defense debuff. Okay, so this is run these all as attuned. Those are all not giving me a defense stat. That is giving me a ranged defense stat. Alright, we are still doing really good on smashing lethal. Not so good on melee anymore. Why are we... I mean, we're no longer... This gives us incarnate soft cap too. Or near incarnate soft capped. Which is a nice party trick to have, but if you're running incarnate content, you're probably going to have other teammates, or you're going to have other abilities available. Venomous Gas, for example, will give us a... what's our 2-hit debuff? Our active 2-hit debuff. You do 2-hit. There's resistance, there's defense. It's not actually giving me a 2-hit debuff component right now. It's just giving me defense and... Okay, we'd have to be standing within melee range of it anyways, because it's a toggle PP AoE. So, not anything we can drop on a faraway opponent. Oh well. But we're still into smashing lethal, fire, cold, soft caps. We're a little bit better on AoE. We have 4 slots left to play with, so we can actually think about... this would give us some more ranged. How close are we on ranged? Not close enough. Anything else that we can close in on ranged with? We got resistance defense there. Right now this is just a mule. Not really doing anything but muling. Where's my gladiators? Oh, gladiator armor is over in the antidote. Let's actually make this usable. There, now with the... Now we can turn that on. Okay. We have 2 slots to go. Not really anything we can build into that'll give us extra defense, I think. Yeah, that needs 3 slots. Right now, my gut reaction would be to build this instead for endurance recovery. 1 more into stamina, 1 more into health. Do the Panacea. Oh, I'm already using Panacea somewhere. Oh, I'm using Panacea on Alkaloid, which is an ally heal. That's not a good place to have the proc. Alright, put the proc on health. Alright. It gives us resist running. Or if we go this way, yeah, we'll go with in mod. And we'll do the damage in mod because that gives us our most endurance. Or what do we get for 3 slots on you? Hit points, max end. Oh, that's actually greater maximum end. Actually, what I'm thinking maybe is in mod increased run speed, in mod endurance, in mod recharge. With agility radial, we're now really slammed into endurance recovery. Just turn agility off. We're still in the yellow cap. What does this look like without agility? Alright, without agility, we're actually still in the soft cap to smashing lethal energy fire cold. That means that with all of these attuned, this poison sonic would be in the soft cap as soon as Scorpion's shield could be had. Without Scorpion's shield, it would be in the soft cap by level 30, so mid-range content. That's actually now looking pretty solid. Now, Amplify is kind of way late in the build. Anything else I could move around, move down? Well, yes, I'm using Corrosive Vial. Can move that down. Can move. I mean, Poison Trap is useful, but not that useful. So what I'm thinking is move Experimental Injection down, and then that can move Corrosive Vial. Is there anything else that could be moved around? Those are all at the earliest they can be gotten. Kind of want the res and the antidote for teammates and Venom as early as possible. Where's our Kismet's at in maneuvers? Actually, there's another consideration. Adding another slot to maneuvers. For more endurance reduction. Not sure. Let's drop. Let's drop the proc. How much are we running? We're running 66%. With agility, we're running 98%. Alright, with proc and in mod, we're running 84%. With agility, we're running 114. What's this actually mean over here? Without agility, we're cranking back 188.63, 3.44, 3.58. Alright, with mod endurance and mod recharge, we're cranking back 3.41, 3.56. 3.56, Alright, so those are actually giving us a higher bump, even with the maximum endurance bonus. So we'll roll with that. And slots and enhancements, slots, auto range all slots, info, maneuvers. We'll move the Kismet. And we'll do a defense endurance recharge here. Okay, now, how does this look from top down? We got our Defender ATOs and Vigil and Shriek. We got them in Shockwave for a faux cone. Weaken is one of our most powerful attacks in Venom. Alright, and Venom has like a 5-second recharge with the duration of 30 seconds. And since you can't really buff the minus regen component, the minus heal component, the only components you can buff are the minus defense component. And with, how can I put this? With everything else that's getting thrown around, tossing a minus defense component, not really a big deal, because chances are somebody else will be running something that cracks defense as well. Still would like to get like Corrosive Vial. If you're fighting against a single hardened target, Corrosive Vial is going to offer you a lot more minus defense for your buck. And the question is, can I get Corrosive Vial quicker, earlier in the build? Is there anything else I can move down? Well, I could actually swap those two so that it stops bugging me. I don't want to move... Alright, Shockwave I could move down, because it's really... It's pathetic damage. It's really just the control power. The only thing Shockwave's really in here for is to control where opponents are and kind of as a keep away. So kind of keeping that in mind, I would swap Shockwave and Experimental Injection, because we're really just using this for an ATO holder. And then I might swap Shockwave and Corrosive Vial. Alright, then we can move Kick down. Alright, Shout I could actually have earlier in the build. So we could actually swap Shout and Experimental Injection. Oh, Shout needs to be at level 16. Neurotoxic Breath, swap Neurotoxic Breath and Shout. Slots and enhancement, slots, auto range slots. Okay, so we still have Weave. Everything's in order for where it could be. Shockwave is really just a... And we could move it down even further. Alright, can I get Amplify earlier? Yes, I can. Amplify is now just after the... Alright, so now we've got Corrosive Vial to aid in debuffing. And Corrosive Vial has a duration of 15 seconds, a recharge of 20 seconds. Am I running Hasten on this build? No, this is without Hasten. So it's not quite perma, but I can stack Corrosive Vial, then hit him with Envenom, which lasts for longer, and keep hitting them with Envenom. So I've got a way to sustain a defense debuff if I really need it, and lay down some extra damage on hard targets. Okay. This is looking pretty good. Slots enhancement, slots, auto range all slots. Alright, everything's looking okay. We've got our actual, and Sonic doesn't have a lot of damaged attack powers. I mean, it's, again, Shockwave is minor damage. Lock it off at base 23 at level 50. Siren Song is base 18 at level 50. Screech is base 7.23 at level 50. And the live developer's argument was, well, Sonic does minus resist damage, so you do more damage than is listed. No, that's not really true. In fact, it's not true at all. The thing is, a lot of enemies don't have a damage resistance value. You can hit them with a minus resist attack, like minions and lieutenants, and you don't actually debuff them anything because they don't have anything there to debuff. And if you're going up against a hardened target resists the resistance, so that even if you spam your resist attacks on a hardened target like a pylon or an arc villain, because the resist value is so low, let's see, what is it on Shriek? The resist minus 20%. I mean, that sounds like a lot, but if an AV is ignoring all but 1% of that, you stack it 5 times, you've only lowered the AV's resistance by 5%. Okay, those numbers are not exact, but that's just, I hope, scaling the problem for you. Why Sonic has always felt underpowered, because it is underpowered. The mechanic to make enemies damage resist doesn't work against minions, lieutenants, or even a lot of bosses, because they really don't have any resistances to debuff. And 1 or 2 passes and you're already at maximum damage, and when you double 0, you still get 0. Alright, so that's my rant on Sonic Blast sucks. It needs an overhaul. I can think of a couple ways to implement an overhaul, but it basically, Sonic Blast is the skip all powers set. But we're looking pretty solid, I think, on the build. So now we can save this as R5. Poison Sonic R5, and now we can sorry, R6, and now we can load up R6. Defender Corruptor, Poison Sonic. There's a reason the M is in here, but I'm not sure why. I don't think it stood for melee, because I'm not even anywhere close to melee damages. Alright, now we can swap to Fire Blast. Alright, again, Rain of Fire, we probably want to keep. We want to get Blaze and Blazing Bolt. We're probably dropping Fire Breath. We're not going to take Fire Blast, so we have Blaze and Blazing Bolt that we want to keep. And what powers can we drop on the way to getting those? Alright, right offhand, what does Paralytic Poison do? It's just a ranged hold. Okay, that loses us some recharge, but we can safely drop Paralytic Poison. We could probably also safely drop Place Trap, but since it is a situational power that is occasionally useful, we'll just keep it in. Okay, Rain of Fire, we want to bring back down. Alright, let's clear our slots. And I can already tell you that right now, we want to add an Overwhelming Force to Rain of Fire, or alternatively, an Armageddon chance for knockdown. And then we want to add Blaze and Blazing Bolt. Alright, what can we move down further in the build? Oh, we can move Venomous Gas all the way down. Alright. Alright. Okay, move Blazing Bolt up. Let's place his aim way late. But we want Scorpion Shield as early as possible for defensive positioning. So our Sniper, and we want Blaze as early as possible for some extra damage in regards to the Weave and Tough. Okay, anything else we can... I think that's all we really want to drop here. Alright, so what are we missing? We're missing a Winter's Bite, which we will tentatively place into Blazing Bolt. Alright, there's Blazing Bolt. Okay, what else are we missing? We got our ATOs, we got that, we got there, we got Neurotoxic Breath, we got Combat Jumping, we've got our Winter's Bite again, we've got our full set of Defender's Bastion, we got Corrosive Vial, we got Tough, we got Weave, Venomous Gas got moved, Scorpion Shield is still there, Inferno. Alright, so we dropped Paralytic Poison for Basilisk Gaze, so we have 4 slots to play with. We could fit in Apocalypse, and we just need 1 slot to do that. What's going to be our easiest slot to take? Our easiest slot to take would probably be one of the healths. I mean, Panacea gives us a nice endurance return. Or we could take it from Venomous Gas and just sacrifice, well, a small recharge time to pick up a little bit more recharge time. kind of leaning towards that. Alright, and then in Blaze, we'll do the Apocalypse. Alright, and there we go now. Let's do Windows, set some bonuses. We're good. No copies. Windows, set some bonuses. No copies on both of them. We got a decent amount of endurance recover. We got some extra hit points and endurance coming back that way. I mean, venomous gas is useful if it can be used, but it can't be used all the time because, well, if you get mezzed, that's one of the other things where it's okay to run it all the way down at the top, because if you get mezzed, you're probably going to be running Clarion on a build, on a Defender or Corruptor, simply because of the to stay unmezzed. So having it down here, that's, one thing maybe changing, moving Shockwave up to Venomous Gas, or swapping Amplify and Venomous Gas. Slots enhancement, slots auto range all slots. Could actually even swap Venomous Gas and Shockwave. To Shockwave at least does something with. Okay, I'm actually a little bit more happy with that, so I'll save that. Alright, let's look at you. Optimizing. Okay, Rain of Fire. We're doing pretty good on damage. Our recharge time is 21 seconds, duration of 15 seconds. So we're not quite perma Rain of Fire. We need a little bit more recharge. Okay, we kind of want to keep the Overwhelming Force. Is there any attack slotting that we could change? Not really, because this is 6 slotted out. That's 6 slotted out. Corrosive Vala, 6 slotted out. Inferno, Blazing Bolt are all 6 slotted out. So nothing we could really take away from attack-wise. We could maybe... No, we can't change because this is giving us this is giving us negative. What are we doing on energy and negative range? We're not quite there on range. We are clear on energy, though. Got a little bit of room to play with there. So we already used that there. We only got 2 slots to play with. We don't necessarily need that defense. We could run up Overwhelming Force and bring flares back. And what can we do with just 2 slots here? We're already using APOC elsewhere. Regeneration. I think we'll keep the defensive boost. Alright. This does at least give us the option to use Rain of Fire, but without a harder control to keep enemies in Rain of Fire. This may be... What's her values on? Well, again, that's recovery. Don't really need that so much. Okay. I think this is looking fairly solid. So we'll save this as Defender, Fire, Sonic, R1. What are we doing over here? Let's go find a new junction. On the plus side, she lived without needing any exterior assistance. Okay, let's look back here. Alright, we got this saved. Let's go ahead and open Defender Corruptor. Wow, really me? Poison Fire, R1. Poison Fire, R1. Actually, let's fix it over here. Poison Fire, R1. Save. Okay, file, nuclear. And we're switching to Corruptor. And now we're just going to do this 1-to-1. Now, I know the values are not going to be the same. But we are going for Poison, or we're going for Fire Blast. We're going for Poison. And we're going to start down at 49 with Venomous Gas. Then Aim. Then Poison Trap. Then Blazing Bolt later on. Alright, some of these we will probably be changing positions based on when we can get them. Alright, Inferno can be had as early as 32, so we're actually going to go to 32 with Inferno. And we took Blaze as quickly as it could be had. Let's go ahead and do 30 at Fighting Weave, 28 at Tough, 26 at Kick, 24 Corrosive Vial, 22 Experimental Injection, 20 Fireball, 18 Rain of Fire, 16 Speed of Sound, 14 Leaping, Combat Jumping, 12. Alright, that's not where Antidote can be had. So let's start off with, in this case, we're going to go straight to Fire Blast. And we're going to do Envenom. And then we're going to do Weaken. Alright, then we're going to bring up Rain of Fire earlier in the build. Neurotoxic Breath can be had at 10. Elixir of Life can be had at 16. Fireball, we're going to move earlier into the build. So we'll do Elixir of Life. Antidote. Alright, Blaze can be had at Elixir of Life 16, Antidote 20. Experimental Injection, we're going to move to 12. Freeing us up for Blaze. So we're now missing Blazing Bolt. We're going to do Mace Mastery, Scorpion Shield at, we'll do Blazing Bolt now at 38. Now, what are we missing? Maneuvers. It's putting maneuvers really late. Can we move maneuvers up? Only by moving something that we don't need elsewhere. I'm thinking moving the Elixir of Life 18. Swapping that with maneuvers. Okay, there we go. Now, oops. We'll go ahead and start filling out with a Miracle in Health. I just realized I can do a new me. I didn't do a new me anywhere in here. And I think a new me will give me a higher return on regeneration and recovery than Panacea's Kickback. That may have been why I had Panacea on Alkaloid, is so that every time I threw Alkaloid, I got Endurance back. Which actually, that's now making a little bit more sense for me to have done it like that. Give me a second while I open up a third window and quickly fix that. Because it's now actually making more sense as to why I would have done the build like that. Well, first of all, change you to a Numi. And then we can change you to a hit points endurance file save. Alright. Is that one? Okay, bring you back. That's redone. Okay, stamina is getting mod increased run speed. Mod venomous gas is getting 3 with the endurance reductions in each of them. And then aim is getting the Gaussian buildup. Poison trap is getting 6 for entomb. And it's like, why poison trap over a paralytic poison? Well, poison trap, if you can land it, does do -N, -recovery, chance of hold, and -damage over time toxic. Paralytic poison is just a hold. Now, paralytic poison is probably more useful for things like mothership raids. But poison trap is, if you can get poison trap to work. Actually, I think I just pointing out that one of these is useful in an in-movement raid and the other one isn't. Just abruptly change the selection of powers there. Poison trap, you have to stand there. What is the activation time on this? Okay, cast time 1 second. And it does a massive recovery debuff. But you have to get enemies to walk over it to trigger it. Which can be problematic sometimes. And you actually have to stop whatever you're doing long enough for enemies to run over it. All right, and recharge time is base 60 seconds. What's the recharge time on? It's 20 seconds between usage. Yeah. I don't know. That's actually making paralytic poison look like the better argument because it's at least useful in more scenarios. And you can leverage that in Tomb for extra survivability. Now, if poison trap could be thrown, like paralytic poison, let's revisit this. But since it can't, you have to stand there and place it and then get enemies to walk over it. It's just too situational. But since I've got both on the Poison Sonic, don't have to make that choice there. The Fire Poison, unfortunately, does have to make that choice, as obnoxious as it might be. And yes, I am aware that because of the difference in scaling values, the Corruptor will not be as effective as the Defender in any scenarios. And we may have to do some adjustments to retain defensive soft caps even with agility. Oh, whoops. That's what I get for jumping ahead of myself. Alright, we'll start with the proc. Then we'll do defense endurance. Defense endurance recharge. Alright, Inferno is all the way with Avalanche. Alright, then Tough is 3 Gladiator's Armors and Resist. And Resist recharge. Proc, kick, we're just doing the recharge timer, and turn it off. Corrosive Vial is getting Frozen Blast. And if pool powers took ATOs, then I would strongly have considered swapping the sliding on Rain of Fire and Corrosive Vial. But they don't, so I'm not. Alright, where was Blaze? Blaze is getting 5 slots. Antidote was just getting a resist defense. Maneuvers was getting 4 slots. Proc, defense endurance recharge, Kismet, speed of sound 2. Proc, experimental injection is just getting the preventative medicine proc. Neurotoxic breath is picking up Ice Mistral's torment. And since we're using this to get fire cold, we're just going with attuned, no pluses. Fireball is getting the full Corruptor ATO with recharge time. Ring of Fire is getting 4, and it got second, fourth, and sixth. And did it get the proc? Yeah, it got the PBOE absorb. And with the base, let's see, we got a proc per minute here, 5 proc per minute, so 60 count. 60 divided by 5 every 12 seconds. Rain of Fire has a base recharge of 60. So basically, every single time you fling off Ring of Fire and it hits an opponent, you should get the Absorb Shield, at least based on procs per minute, if they work as intended. Whether or not they work as intended is a completely different question. Now, on the Corruptor, that proc, and another thing for Fireball is it also picks up the chance for negative energy damage. Chance for minor PBOE heal on Fireball. Base recharge time is 16 seconds. PPM of 5. So every time you shoot Fireball, you should get the PBOE heal. Every time you shoot Fireball, you should get the chance for negative damage, because it's at 5 PPM to mobs. Rain of Fire, we're setting the... And the reason I'm adding the Overwhelming Force is because it adds a little bit more damage. And we're setting the ATO, starting with the proc. And... oof. Huh. Wow. Well, good to know. If you didn't catch that, the procs on the defenders are... Superior Vigilant Assault is 5 procs per minute. Superior Defender's Bastion is 5 procs per minute. Superior or negative damage, 5 procs per minute. Create Superior Scourging Blast, 3 procs per minute. So this means you need a base recharge time in excess of 20 seconds, or it'll occur about every 20 seconds. So we are actually still with Rain of Fire. You should get the chance for a plus end every time you cast it. Alright, Weakens going all the way out with Cloud Census, and because this is a mid-range, caps at level 30, and that's where we'll start to get into our soft caps, because that's where we pick up... Where's Weave? Weave is placed level... Oh. I scrolled down. I couldn't see it. Watch the scrolls. Live, people. All right. We're doing Luck of the Gambler proc. Reactive defense is defense endurance. Reactive defense is defense endurance recharge time. Reactive defense is scaling resist damage. And we could actually pick up a slot here and get rid of the scaling resist damage, because we're on Corruptors and Defenders, and they don't get a lot of resist to begin with. But I think that having the extra resist is just useful. It can turn a nearly dead into not dead. Chance for resist debuff. Alkaloid's getting 5 slotted. And as discussed previously, I think I did the proc on here so that every time you toss Alkaloid, you get what's our endurance? 7.5% endurance, 3 procs per minute. Alright, so 3 ppm means about every 20 seconds. Base recharge time of 4 seconds. Alkaloid way outraises Panacea, so you won't get the endurance return every time, but it may equal out. Alright, so we're picking up Thunderstrike, and because we're using this for defense scaling, we're just going to leave them unplussed, and we're just taking the bottom 3. Alright, and then we're picking up last ones in the ATO, so first, third, fourth. Alright, there we go. Now let's check our numbers. Oof. We are actually way down. We're not even close on smashing lethal. I mean, we're like 10 off. We're 10 off from... Wait, let's... I may have just committed unfairity. Agility radial, because I had agility turned on. And agility radial, 46, 46, 46. We were still in the soft caps. Alright, with agility turned on, oh, we're not there. We're close, but we're not there. We need some more defense. And we need some more general defense. How are we going to get it? The easiest way would be to add some defense, I think. Gas. And just do a hard defense. And there we are. That now brings us up to with agility. But this now also changes some of the rest of the set, because even scaling down, you will not be into soft capped level defenses at low levels. You'll be there at high levels. So maybe swap pushing Elixir of Life earlier in the build. Say moving Tough and Kick down and moving Elixir down and moving Maneuvers down. Or no, we want to keep Maneuvers as high as possible. Maybe swap Maneuvers and Experimental Injection. Swap Corrosive Vial and Experimental Injection. Alright, and then do move Swap Tough and Blazing Bolt. Alright, new slots and enhancement slots. Auto range all slots. And there we go. Alright, this is it's not in the soft cap at lower levels. This does actually free you up to maybe plus out Neurotoxic Breath, although that really doesn't buy you anything. Actually, plussing out the enhancements that aren't plussed out really doesn't buy anything. But there we go. There's at least at the top end, soft cap to smashing lethal, energy, fire cold, fire blast poison. And again, we went with Paralytic Poison because it's useful in more scenarios than Poison Trap is. If Poison Trap becomes a ranged, throw it onto a group of enemies, power, or ranged sticky power, then yeah, we can have this conversation again. But until that happens, it's like many of the other traps, objectively a bad power. Yeah, there I went and said it. It's objectively bad. It's not subjectively, there's no subjective interpretation here. It is objectively a bad power. Alright, so that's all we got. We'll go throw this on the forums at the person who requested it, and I will catch you later. How long will you take? Oh, we kept it under an hour. And my voice is still going. Hooray!